Welcome back to Tailgate Talk with the boys. UNC drops 2 in a row. Unranked Kansas Shocks No. 6 Oklahoma. Miami with the walk-off in overtime win over Virginia. Union clinches the Mountain 7 District Championship. Gate City crushes Y Central. John Battle gets their 3rd win of the season. Boys, let's get into it. Hey, boys, how are we doing today? We got a special guest with us, and we got Mr. Keith Warner, the head coach of the Twin Springs Titans, with us. Coach, welcome to the Tailgate Talk podcast. It's an honor to have you with us today.
Thanks for having us, guys. I'm excited.
Well, boys, let's get in there. He's going to go through the whole thing with us and everything. We're going to go ahead and get started on some college football. We're going to be interviewing him a little bit later, so you guys out there can just listen on through, and then don't miss the interview that we have with Coach. But we're going to get into this week, number 9, college football. And up first we had Oklahoma 33, Kansas 38.
Pitiful. Absolutely pitiful. I picked Oklahoma by a bunch. Terrible mistake. And you actually told me like 3 weeks ago, you're like, Kansas is something to watch. I didn't believe you.
They're better than their record shows. They really are. And they always play up for schools. It seems like that they shouldn't win games they shouldn't win. They're always in them. They're one of them upset schools.
Well, this is definitely a game that I think they shouldn't have won, but man, you got to give them credit for staying in the dogfight like that and pulling this big win out. And did they pull the goalpost down and walk it out of the stadium on this one?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, they already got them fixed today, don't they? That was quick.
They're pretty fast. Yeah, pretty fast. Indiana 24, Penn State 33. When we was talking about this one last time, I was like, Indiana's liable to play this in time because, Penn State's got a great defense, but they have no offense, man.
Yeah, they look really bad on offense, which I picked Penn State big again, stupidly so.
Well, I picked Penn State in this, and I believe it, but I didn't think it'd be that tight. But, right there at the end, Penn State pulled it out and sealed the deal, Pretty good ball game.
Well, good teams find a way to win, even in the hard times, and Penn State is definitely doing that. Do you have anything to add on that one, Coach Warner?
I'll tell you what, I picked Indiana and their pick 'em here. So I missed that one. I went with them. Live and learn.
Well, should have seen my 4-leg parlay this week. It burnt me pretty good.
You told me you'd almost hit.
Well, no, it almost. I was hoping that it hit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Miami 29, Virginia 23. Boys, the Cavaliers, it's 2 weeks in a row that they've played some football.
Yeah, they have.
So, they're getting better. They're getting better.
Yeah, and that's what you want to see how your team is them improving all year long. Me being a Tech fan, I kind of hoping they wouldn't because, with Duke losing and North Carolina losing, Tech may be back into a chance to win that side of the ACC if they keep on losing.
Well, they're in it still right now. So, but I don't know. I don't know that it's necessarily that Virginia's getting better and better, but Miami seems to be falling downhill too.
It's hard to beat a team that plays with passion, guys.
Yes, that is true.
UVA's playing with it right now.
Yeah, they are. Florida State 41, Wake Forest 16.
I seen this one coming. I called this one right. I didn't call much right this week, but that was one I did call right.
Actually, you did hit 2 that nobody else did.
Yeah, I sure did. Don't worry, we're getting to the other one. Don't worry.
And in this game right here, I went up there and got some free tickets to go up there and watch Wake and Tech play. And after what Tech done to Wake, that's about what I expected out of Florida State. Actually, I figured they put up more points than 41.
I'm the biggest Florida State hater here, guys. But my goodness, they're good.
They are good.
They're good.
Well, I'm pulling for them now because I think they're the only shot that the ACC has to even get somebody in the playoffs. So. All right, this next one here was part of my parlay. Oregon 35, Utah 6. I did pick Oregon to win the game on the pick'em, but on the parlay I went through and picked up some upset games, and I actually put Utah on there to upset them. And I was like, Oregon don't play defense, and I swear to God, if they didn't pack their defense up and carry them with them to Utah this week.
Yeah, I think Oregon's played pretty decent defense, good enough to win in that conference right there. But I figured Oregon would beat them, but not like that. They look dominant on defense in this game right here.
Yeah, man. Georgia 41, Florida 20.
This ain't no surprise to me. Georgia's rolling again, baby.
They're starting to get into that right form, man. They're not leaving quarters off or halves.
Yeah.
They were playing halves to start with, you know.
And even without their big guy, man, they had players step up, and that quarterback, I believe he's just getting better throughout the year. He's starting to hit different guys, and, man, there's just a bunch of people step up on this Georgia offense right here and step up big. I like this game.
Everybody wanted to see Georgia blow them out. They wanted to see what they were about, especially without the best offensive player. I think they proved it.
Yeah, absolutely.
They look like a number one to me.
Well, this next one right here, Duke scoreless against Louisville. What has happened
I just want to put out there that
to
I
the Duke Blue
said
Devils?
when we all three picked them last week, I said we doomed them.
You did do that.
It's over.
You did say that.
So I'd just like to put it out there that I called that we doomed them. We can't all three pick somebody in the win. So
Anytime all three of us pick somebody, you better look out. but in this game right here, and I've said it against Notre Dame, I thought first half their quarterback play was terrible. I think Duke's a good all-around team. Man, they're having quarterback issues, and it really showed right here in this game. They're going to have to figure something out with their quarterback. They got a great running game, pretty good defense.
Louisville's pretty good too, though.
Oh yeah.
They got speed, man.
But I think in the 2 or 3 games, that's really hurt them is their quarterback play.
See, Louisville's only got the one lost, right?
Yeah.
Still, yeah.
Number 16? What are they ranked?
I believe they are 16th, somewhere in that. Notre Dame 58, Pitt 7. Boys, Notre Dame, y'all said they ain't no good. I'm telling you, they're winning ball games.
I did pick them, I think. I just said that I hated them with a passion.
You do hate them.
It's true.
You picked them in this, and you said you never was.
Well,
I remember when 2 Avians would not pick them, and I got to sing you the fight song.
What's he say all year about Ridge U? They ain't played nobody. Notre Dame ain't played nobody. And we give it to the end of the season. We'll see.
Pitt 7. You got anything on that one? We're not talking Ridgeview right now. We're talking about Notre Dame and Pitt.
I did think the running back had a huge game. I thought he really put him on their back. The quarterback, he had, like 280-something yards, but he threw like 2 or 3 interceptions. But that running back, I mean, he was just gashing them every time he got the chance, had like 3 touchdowns. I thought he played really good, so.
Tell them, Sean, they just ain't played nobody.
Yeah, ain't played nobody.
I have a hard time. I'm with you. I have a hard time getting on the Notre Dame bandwagon every year. I have a hard time with it, but somehow they always prove me wrong at the end of the year.
Yeah, they're going to have to conference up, I think, quit this independent stuff.
Well, they do in basketball, don't they?
They do.
Yeah, they do. It's just football, they're still independent. This one right here was a fun game, boys. Tennessee, Kentucky. Tennessee pulled it off 33-27. It was a fun game to watch.
I watched this whole ball game. Couldn't stop watching it. I mean, I think the biggest lead was around 10 points there through most of the game, and it was just totally the opposite of what I expected. I expected Kentucky to come out and control the run and run the ball. They couldn't move the ball with the running game at all. But man,
I didn't expect them to be able to run. Tennessee's probably got the best front four in college football.
Yeah, but that Kentucky running back, he's put up numbers this year, and he's been impressive. And I mean, he couldn't do nothing. But now Kentucky's quarterback stepped up, answered a call. He was hitting dudes all over the field,
Absolutely.
and maybe because Tennessee was trying so hard to stop the run that they was giving up some in the passing game. But now he lit it up, and I really enjoyed that game. And Tennessee, man, they run the ball crazy in this game. I don't even think they needed a quarterback out there the way they run the ball.
Well, that's the way they. Never mind.
I did think Joe Milton played one of the better games I've watched him play this year.
The pressure was off.
Yeah,
He was efficient.
I thought he threw the ball well, but that's like Kermit said. I figured that little run back from Kentucky would, blast them, but they just handled him. There wasn't nothing he could do.
I really wasn't expecting their running game to do anything against Tennessee, honestly, because Tennessee's, man, their front four, like I said, they're beasts, man. And I think Kentucky's quarterback probably had the best game throwing the ball that he's probably had all year in this one.
Yeah, and the announcers are even saying he looked like the old quarterback that was at NC State, and when they was talking about him, going up for Heisman and stuff like that. He had a heck of a game.
I'm a Tennessee homer, guys, but those out routes he was throwing, you talking about the commentators, those are NFL throws.
Mm-hmm.
My goodness.
Yeah.
But who would have thought 3 guys from Tennessee, who you going, I mean, they can rush any one of them.
Yep.
That surprised me, and I'm the biggest Tennessee fan of all time, but my goodness, those 3 guys are dangerous.
Yeah, they really are.
They got their hurry up offense, man. It is on point. I mean, you expect to see some offsides or something there somewhere through the game, but man, you got to give them guys credit. They was on point the whole game.
Yep.
If they would only quit going in the gun on 4th and 1.
That drives me crazy.
Me nuts.
I can't stand to see any team do that for some reason.
God.
And I mean, Milton is a huge guy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a quarterback sneak with him, he's going to pick up 3 yards.
Well, they finally went under center once yesterday. Handed it off. Didn't even sneak it with him.
Yeah.
And I'd like to see him sneak it with him.
Or
Really.
two.
Washington 42, Stanford 33. Kermit said he couldn't quit watching this game, but I had to go flip it over to see Penix Jr. spin that ball. Boys.
Yeah, boy.
And this one's something, man. That kid can flat throw a football.
360 and 4 touchdowns. It's just like, every week he keeps getting better. He throws like the prettiest ball I've ever seen in my life.
It is beautiful ball, man.
He can really spin it. And, man, I mean, they're 8-0 and they're really rolling 5 in the country. But I love Michael Penix. I love him.
Man, the way this daggone Washington team plays, man, they just keep pulling them out, keep pulling out wins, and that's all that matters. You put a W on the board there, even though I still like Oregon, but, yeah, they definitely deserve a top spot right there.
I like watching them play. Like I said, I like watching him throw the ball and stuff. But, I mean, thing of it is, most of these teams out in the pack, whenever they face somebody that plays good defense, they're done.
I think that Jalen Polk kid had a huge game too. That receiver, I can't remember his exact stat line. Hang on, I'll look right quick. 5 catches for 148 and 2 touchdowns. Huge game. That kid's a playmaker. But man, this Washington team, they could really shock some people here coming up. The next few weeks.
Oh yeah.
I think their problem is their defense. They let way too many people score points, but on the flip side of that, you are going to have to keep up with that offense. And I mean, they're going to score points. I think about no matter who they play, they're going to get on the board. So we'll see.
They scored the first 4 possessions. I don't know if I was watching Washington Stanford or Twin Springs Thomas Walker. My goodness.
Yeah. Put the points up.
Yeah, it's one of them kind, man. Colorado 29, UCLA 16. Is that in right or backwards?
You got it
Backwards.
Yeah.
Yeah, I flip-flopped that one. Yeah.
Still on that Deion bandwagon.
I ain't never been on the Deion bandwagon.
Giving them points. Giving them
I'm
points.
just telling you that he's a money-making fool. And schools like that. And they're going to want money coming into them.
Yeah.
This there kids like it too, guys.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
absolutely. I thought Shadur played one of the worst. Well, not the worst, but one of the less.
He was beat to death
Yeah,
by
I
that
mean,
defense.
They got
You know,
hammered.
I mean, he threw the ball 43 times and had like 24 completions or something. You know,
And he was probably hit
I mean,
38 of the 43 times.
Yeah, I mean he's a playmaker, but man, they gotta give him some protection. I think if they do get him a better offensive line, they can score. Like they've proved they can score with a lot of teams, but man, you gotta have some protection for that guy.
I think they're still got kids leaving the program though.
Yeah,
The linebacker quit.
I think
he walked out.
he's proved that he can spin it, but you got to have people to protect him. If you ain't got no protection, he's never going to do nothing. So, and Dion laid it right out there in that interview. I don't know if y'all watched that interview. Did y'all see that?
Yeah.
They said, what's the answer? How do you protect this guy? And he said, you get new offensive linemen. He didn't sugarcoat it at all. I mean,
Yeah, and it's like we've talked before. You can take the greatest quarterbacks in the league, man. You can rattle their cage a couple times, and it gets them looking at other places. And I think me and Aaron talked about it. The only quarterback I'd ever seen take a beating the whole game was, I think it was Lamar Jackson with the Cardinals
Louisville, yeah.
in that Florida Bowl game. I mean, he got pounded, and he was still making throws downfield, and you just don't see that happen.
Yeah. UNC 42, Georgia Tech 46, and we already got somebody shaking his head over here.
Yep. I called it, boys. I called it. I told y'all that Georgia Tech was going to do it. Yeah, everybody told me I was crazy.
Here's the thing, but you said they're going to bring in the triple option. They're going to bring in that, and I was like, they don't even run the triple option no more. And I swear, if Paul wasn't at the ball game, they was like freaking giving him like his Hall of Fame thing.
Big game by the quarterback, big game by the running back. They just,
Well, with Paul being there, did they run the triple?
No.
no, they were shotgun.
Oh, I'm with y'all guys. I thought UNC would respond this week. I did.
Yeah, they did not. Well, they kind of did. Shoot. Maybe Georgia Tech was trying to show out for Paul or something. They played good this game.
I knew it was going to happen.
I thought I was watching a Pac-12 game though.
Yeah.
Score after score.
Lighten it up.
OSU 24, Arizona 27. I really felt like Oregon State would win this game.
Yeah, I did too. I picked them to win this game. But
Did all three of us pick Oregon?
I
think so. I think we did. That's what done it.
I think I went with Oregon.
Well, they'd only got beaten by Utah and USC.
Yeah.
I mean, that's.
They're always like really sneaky good though.
Yeah.
I mean they're just so sneaky good. All right, that's all we had on that. Boys, I think I've missed one here on this pick 'em this week. Hey, is this the week that Washington and USC plays, or is that next week?
Thought that was next week.
Somebody look that up while we go down through here. All right, College Week 10 picks. Up first, we got Wake Forest and Duke. This right here changes some things, boys.
USC and Washington are playing this week.
That's what I thought. I'm putting them in here. Yeah. I'll put them last.
Well, I got Duke. I just want to put that out there.
He's staying with
I got Duke.
I'm just going to put it this way. I don't think Wake Forest has got no offense. So even without a quarterback, that's all Duke needs is a good running back. And I've got Duke pulling this one off.
Y'all want me to pick?
Yeah, you pick that. Get in your round.
I'm going with Duke. I'm not picking against them again.
That's right, baby.
Well, I'm a Blue Devil at heart, baby. So I'm going with the Duke Blue Devils. K-State Texas. What you got, Sean?
I got Texas Longhorns. I just don't think that. I think Quinn Ewers is an awesome player, which I don't think K-State's got a terrible defense either. You know, they've held some teams, you know, to some low points, but I think Texas will be way too much for them. The way Texas played against Alabama, I think they have one of the better defenses in the SEC, even though they don't show it sometimes. And I think that defensive coordinator for Texas he's a daggum mastermind the way he plans for people. I think that combined with their offense will be too much for K-State.
Even with the one loss, Texas is still my top 5 teams. I take Texas in this one.
Yeah, I'm going with Texas. I like their quarterback, guys.
Yeah, I'm going with the Texas Longhorns here.
They'll definitely lose now. All 4 of us. There ain't no doubt.
Well, I'm sorry we jinxed them. Florida State, Pitt.
Florida State by 1,000,000. That's what I got. They're too good all over the place. I love their quarterback too. I can't never remember that guy's name, but he can really sling the ball around. And I think, you know, Coach said that, or y'all all said that Tennessee had the best front 4 in football. I think Florida State has the best front 8 in football. I think the way their defensive linemen and their linebackers play together is nuts. So, yeah, that's what I got.
I think Florida State's going to win the ACC championship, and they're going to be right there in the championship. So I've got Florida.
I'm picking Florida, and I'm going to make my man happy. I bet Tech plays them for the ACC championship.
That'd be nice. That'd be sweet.
My pick on this one here is, you know, I've said it thousands of times. You never know which team for Pittsburgh's going to show up. They've struggled this year, but they're always a team that can upset you at any time. They play spoilers so much. But this ain't that week, and I'm going Florida State with Jens. Oh, Oklahoma State. You want to start this one, Kermit?
I'm gonna take Oklahoma in this one. I believe they're gonna win. They're gonna win big.
I'm going to take Oklahoma. Boomer Sooner going to wreck the wagon.
After this week?
I'm going to take them.
Yeah, they're gonna be fired up this week.
I'm going Oklahoma State boys in this one. I think the wagon's tore up too bad to get the wheels back on it.
I got Oklahoma in this one too. I'll roll with the consensus here.
Oh, well, what are you 3 going to do? Go down there and help them get the wagon covered back
We'll
up?
go put the wheels back on.
Flip it back over.
Yeah.
Ohio State, Rutgers.
Ohio State by a bunch.
Ohio State.
Do I have to pick them?
Do
I have to say their name?
You just say that Ohio team.
That Ohio team.
A&M and Ole Miss. I got Ole Miss in this one, boys.
Really?
I do, really.
You like Olane?
I love him.
Dang.
I know there's probably some here that don't.
Hey, I still like him, man. Anybody says they wouldn't have took him back in Knoxville 5 years ago is a liar.
That's true. That is true. You thought about it long enough, mister.
I'm gonna go Ole Miss too. I like their quarterback, old Dart. I think he's pretty good. I think they can pull it out. I do like the way Texas A&M plays, though. I will say that.
Go for it.
Now, I did get to watch Lane's last game with Tennessee.
Here we go.
They played Virginia Tech down in the Chick-fil-A Bowl
I
on
was
New
there,
Year's.
too.
Pretty awesome game.
Don't remind me.
Old Tyrod got the wheel rolling.
You're about to bring up another battle, too, son. So I would just leave it right there, and I would pick this game in hand. But don't get him going yet.
But I will take Lane in this, and I think they can pull this out.
I thought you was going with Jimbo, son.
If they don't fire him before the game.
Yeah.
I'm taking Ole Miss. I'm going to make another bold one next weekend, or 2 weeks.
Oh.
I think they give Georgia a game. I think it's close. I think Georgia beats them. I think it's close.
I'm with you on that. I felt like that too. Notre Dame, Clemson. I'm going to pick first, boys. I'm going Notre Dame, and the rest of the teams have Clemson.
This makes my blood boil to even say it. But
Again?
I'm going to pick Notre Dame again.
What?
I know. It's
I'm going to keep
terrible.
putting them on here to keep you saying them.
It goes against everything I believe in, but I'm going to have to pick Notre Dame.
Just to go against Aaron, I'm going Clemson all the way. That way I can say, I told you so.
Is Dabo done, guys? Is he done?
I honestly, I think he is. I think he's coming to the end of it here.
Well, since you said that, I'll take your word for it. I'll pick Notre Dame.
It's just hard when you like Dabo and Nick and
I like Dabo.
Man, you lose coaches every year.
I do too. I like Dabo.
Sooner or later you run out of guys to grab, and it's like, who do I bring in? I mean, I think it's why Alabama struggled a little bit, and I know that's why Clemson's struggling.
You mean who can I afford?
That's exactly where it comes in at now. Yeah, because money now has become even bigger.
I think as a head coach at the college level, you've got to be able to trust the guy to take over your defense.
Oh, that's at any level, to be honest.
Or your offense. I mean, if there ain't no trust there, it don't matter how good you think he may be.
Well, Kermit, we appreciate you taking Clemson so Notre Dame can win this game. Virginia Tech, Louisville. Let's go,
ahead,
Hokie
Kermit.
boy.
Go ahead, Kermit.
Let's hear what you got to say.
I tell you, Virginia Tech's getting better every week. Their offense is looking a lot better every week. I think they're giving their defense a break, and that may be why their defense is looking so much more explosive and
Normally
stuff.
that helps.
But, I'm a Tech man, and I'm taking Tech all the way in this one.
I may be the only Tennessee fan in this area that does not hate Virginia Tech. And from what I've seen from their defense, guys, they're getting better. And I'm a defensive guy, and, man, they're flying to the football. I love watching 11 guys get the football. I'm taking Tech.
Man, they look good this past week.
They did.
And is this at Tech or Louisville? It's at Louisville.
It's at
ain't it?
Louisville, I think.
Yeah,
It
that's the
don't
only thing
matter.
that concerns me.
It don't matter where it's at.
That's the only thing that concerns me. But I really want to see them. This week right here is going to tell if they're really headed in the right direction.
This is big for Tech
This
here.
one right here tells the tale if they are headed into the right direction or if last week was just a daggone fluke by Syracuse.
See if they're going to play Florida State. Make me look smart.
That's right. But
They played a good second half against Florida State when they did play them. And they, like you say, they keep getting better and better. You never know.
I believe so too. They look really good this past week, and I'm going to go the Hokies. I think the quarterback, he's starting to get confidence, and especially now that they stayed with him. The starter was ready to play, so they stuck with him. I think he knows now he's the guy, and that boosts his confidence even more.
And the team's confidence.
Yeah.
You got your man.
I think the offense is starting to gel more, but I think what's going to help that offense more is that now, that they're watching their defense, like Coach said, fly to the football, and they're really making plays. And that helps, I think, the offense more than anything. When you got people going on the field that's got your back, and they're going to do everything they can to get a stop. But with all that being said, I am going Louisville. I'll ruin the party right quick. I'm going to pick Louisville.
Well, we appreciate you for letting Virginia Tech win.
If they get this one, guys, they just got Boston College, NC State, and Virginia left.
Yeah.
It's huge.
I think Louisville's their biggest one that stands in front of
think
them to get there. Absolutely. Penn State, Maryland.
I got Penn State by a bunch. I believe in the Tua tug of Iowa that's in the NFL, but I don't believe in the tug of Iowa.
You
that's in there
said
at
Penn
Maryland.
State and a bunch in one sentence.
I got Penn State by a bunch. That's what I got. I don't even know if that guy's still even starting for him. I just know he plays there.
Well, I don't know if Penn State can score a bunch, but I'll take Penn State in this one.
They can't score a bunch. I don't think it's in their wheelhouse.
I'll take Penn State.
Boys, I'm going Maryland. I love Penn State's defense. I think they're great. But I'm going to take Maryland in this one. It's probably going to be one of my parlay legs this week, too, in this game. So you boys can thank me later for being right. Because if I pick it on a parlay, I guarantee it ain't going to go right. Missouri, Georgia.
I don't want to say it again, but I got Georgia by a bunch in this one, too. I don't think Missouri's looked real impressive. So, and I think Georgia, like we said before, I think Georgia really is starting to, I know they've had some rough outings here. Like that one game they played terrible in the first half, and then in the second half they looked like they could beat a daggone NFL team. But, I think Georgia's really coming in at a perfect time, about to go in the end of the season. You're having your SEC championship and your playoffs and all that. I think Georgia's coming on at the right time. So I got Georgia.
I think Mizzou's surprised me a time or two, but like I said, Georgia's my number one right now until somebody proves it. They're going to stay my number one, Georgia.
I got Georgia.
I'm going with the Bulldogs too. I really don't know that they're really turning it on right now. I don't think that they've had to really do more than what they've had to after they've done to win these ball games. And
they've done plenty enough to win.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, I think there's, sometimes you conserve the gas, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I got the Georgia Bulldogs in it too. Cal, Oregon State.
Hopefully there's no protest holding up the game this week. I think the protest about put Cal back in the game, they about put it on USC, but I think I'm going to take Oregon State in this one. I think I am.
I ain't never picking none of them California teams again. I'm picking Oregon State.
Can we
That's hilarious.
I'm going Oregon State.
LSU, Bama. Let's hear it from the big LSU man today. Come on, son.
You cut me. I bleed LSU purple, baby. I got faith in the offense. I know they've looked like crap a couple times, but I got faith in old Jaden and the boys, son. They're going to put it on Alabama.
Daggone. I'd like to see it, but I just think Alabama somehow just keeps pulling them out and keeps pulling them out. And I believe they're going to pull one more out right here. It's going to be close, but I believe Bama will pull another one out.
I'm going to go with LSU, guys. Yeah. I am.
I'm with you. I'm going LSU too because I'll be honest with you, man. That offense is hot, and Bama's not been able to play football till the second half all year. And you give LSU 2 or 3 possessions and you're not doing nothing, they're going to have you behind very big.
Well,
and they don't stop scoring. They keep scoring, son.
Well, I've said it's going to burn Bama sooner or later, and this definitely may be the game it does, but I'm still going to go Bama.
It's at Bama, though, right?
It is at Bama.
It's going to be tough.
It's a hard place to win. USC, Washington.
I'm sticking with my boy Penix, and I'm going Washington.
Washington.
I'll go USC.
Ooh, there it is. Big quarterback matchup this week.
I'll go USC.
Oh, okay, well, why? I mean, what's your thinking?
I just think those West Coast teams, it's at USC, right?
It is, I believe.
Those West Coast teams, guys, I'm telling you. I don't think you can pick on them. I don't think you can bet on these games.
No, you really can't.
It's unreal.
It is.
It's unreal.
They definitely burned us enough time this year.
But I do know they've been talk about USC. What's his name? Setting him.
Caleb Williams.
Yeah, Caleb setting him out now. There's no sense in him playing. I mean, I get it, but if I was the team, I'd be pissed off.
Yeah.
But I mean, I see his point of it and all the other people's point, but I mean, who knows?
Major upset. No.
I'm going Washington because I'm a Penix Jr. fan too. I'm going
Penix
Washington,
believer, baby.
All right, that's all we got for the college football picks. We're gonna get on into this interview here with Coach Warner. A lot of you has probably been sitting and listening, waiting on this time right here, and we're gonna put him on the spot. We're gonna turn the spotlight on to him. And first off, Coach, we do want to say congratulations on turning the program around and creating an awesome winning culture here and everything. And you've done a wonderful job, and I know the community's actually, happy to have you and everything. It's always good to come back to your alma mater and be able to do something good for them and everything, and
Yes, sir.
everything. And with that being said, I mean, how did you change the culture around the program?
I've been fortunate to be around a lot of good coaches in my short time. Everybody. I've been around a lot of sports, and I don't say that arrogantly, but since the time I was walking, it's just been my passion. So I've got a chance to be around, Coach Vermillion when he coached me here, Coach McCrary, Coach Fields, and then I got to go to Gate City, and spend some time there again with Coach Vermillion, Coach Housewright, and then Jeremy was our defensive coordinator. Coach Fugit, Coach Irvin, those guys. If you look at the people that I got the opportunity to be in a circle with in my short time, I'll just be, I'm 35 years old, but I feel like that the good Lord's truly blessed me with a coaching circle. Yeah. And the guys that I've surrounded myself with as well. When we came here 6 years ago, they had 9 boys in the senior class. Not 9 football players. They had 9 boys in the senior class. So we had a third of them. We had 3 boys on our team, and the guys that I say I brought with me, I don't mean it that way. The guys that agreed to come with me to be a part of this, they were just as much as the turnaround up here as I was. I brought Joel Davis with me. He's an old Powell Valley guy, and Jerry Schuler. And then I brought, Matt Bays. I mean, he's a Twin Springs legend.
Yeah.
Everybody wants, Matt Bays, you think of Matt and Stacy when they were here. And so, the guys that were here, Coach Quillen, those guys, and Coach Doc, they're Twin Springs guys. So I wanted to bring as many Twin Springs people back as I could to let everybody know that this place does mean something to somebody.
Right. Yes, absolutely.
And it means something to a lot of people. And I think you just got to find a way to squeeze that out, whether it's in a school or in a community or within your players. So they seen all of us alumni come back. And then I brought Coach Burke, Keener Burke. He played for me at Gate City, went on and played at Concord. He's a fireball of energy.
Yeah, man.
And I used to be that guy. When I was with Coach Vermillion and Coach Housewright, that was my role, and I embraced it. And now as you get older and everything's put on your shoulders as a head coach, you've got to have good people around you. We just talked about it with those pick'ems in the NFL or in the college level. Surround yourself with good people. And I felt like that I've had the best. And I hated to lose Joel and Jerry when they left this year and went to Eastside. But my goodness, what can you say about Coach Bays and Coach Burke stepping in and installing a new offense?
I mean, it's not stalled at all. I mean, it's just kept on rolling.
It's kept rolling. They found what would work with our roster, and I think at our level, And I hate saying this because it changes every year. There's a lot of small schools, in our area. So I never want anybody to feel sorry for us. But at any given year, we could be, the 3rd, 4th, 5th, or 6th smallest school in the state of Virginia playing football.
Yeah.
You got 180 kids to choose from, 9 through 12. That's holy smokes.
Yeah.
You get 36 on the roster. I think this year we have 84 boys in the school. So the culture there, when getting back to it, you get those kids, and there's kids right now as seniors. When they were freshmen, we were like, holy smokes, are they going to make it? But we've put our arm around them. We've loved on them, but we've coached them hard. We get in their hind ends, and they know when we mean business, but at the end of the day, I think it all boils down, it's cliche, and a lot of head coaches aren't going to admit it, but I think it's love.
Yeah.
I think it's love.
I agree with that.
And letting these kids know that you love them. And, in a small rural area, a lot of these kids don't have that. When they leave here, they don't have it. And I was one of those kids.
Yeah.
So I can relate to them. So that's my biggest thing when I brought coaches in. Even my Little League coaches, we have meetings every year. I don't care about wins and losses at the young level. I want these kids loved on, arm around them, let them know somebody cares, and the game of football can be fun. And so, we started there. We started with our Little League program. This funny story, I hate to ramble, but they about ran me out of town week 1. I did away with our Crunch Bunch team, kindergarten through second graders. Third graders, kinda. We were losing so many kids. The first day of varsity practice here at Twin Springs, we walked under the hill with 9 kids on August 1st. And I looked at Joel. I said, "Man, what are we gonna do?" He said, "I don't know, but we gotta find 2 more kids." I said, "Yeah, you're right, man. Thanks." So we started a flag football for those young kids, and man, it's took off. And now we're seeing, and I chart it every year, we're not losing kids. We're gaining kids. Once they get to that, we call it D1 and D2 in our Cumberland Youth League. So we're not losing kids. We're gaining kids actually now.
Yeah.
And for our area, that's huge.
Yeah, it is.
That's huge. When you've only got, 20 boys in a class with Dungan and Nicholsville combined, that's huge to keep to retain those kids. And now, it's flowing into our varsity program.
Yeah.
And I try to spend as much time at that Little League level as I can. We actually, me and my head assistant and my line coach, we coach flag.
Yeah.
We're up here on Tuesdays and Thursday nights coaching flag.
Yeah.
So I think, they know we love them. We establish those relationships. And then probably the last thing about our culture is our other sport coaches. I can't say enough about them. When you have the head football coach, of course, the head basketball coach, Tyler Webb, he and I played here together. We've been best friends for a long time. He's on board. He's, let's call it what it is, guys. We're a basketball school.
Yeah.
I mean, that's coming from a football coach.
Yeah.
When you got your basketball coach with one of, the best programs, across the state, when he's pushing those guys to play football, that's huge.
Yeah.
And then when you got your baseball coach, they're pushing those kids to come play, and then when football's over, we're pushing those guys to go play basketball. When basketball's over, we're pushing them to go play baseball. And if you look at any of these pictures out there in the hallway, all of our championship teams, you'll see the same kids in football, basketball, and baseball in a small school. So to get everybody on the same page, I got my basketball coach in the booth with me on Friday nights. It's huge. The baseball coach, he's one of our biggest fans. He helps us set up the field, take down, whatever we need, he'll do it. So
I absolutely love what you're saying, Coach, because that's where I tell everybody it starts at. It starts at the little league level, the peanut level. Tom Turner, a lot of people talks about the great teams he had, but I tell everybody it started in peanut. We had 4 peanut ball clubs, and everybody run the same plays. What Tom Turner wanted you to run. When you got to the high school level, there was no change. There wasn't no changing stuff up. You was already ready to go and ready to play and have fun. And but speaking of peanut, Joel Davis, he coached my boy in peanut. Loved Joel Davis to death.
yeah, and I think that I think that's a stepping stone for Joel. The reason why he's as successful as he is right now. And Coach Rhodes and I, we're great friends. I said it in a TV interview this year when I started doing this. They said coaching was a brotherhood. Coach Rhodes is one of those brothers, man. And no discredit to him, but my goodness, look at what Joel and Jerry are doing at Eastside right now. Rhodes is a heck of a coach too, but like we talked about, you got to have people around you.
Yeah.
So I think Joel spending those years at the Little League level and then being able to come to a small, single A school, there's differences, but you've got to teach basics. And that's something that we've done really well here at Twin Springs is we've got back to the basics, and those guys that are coaching at the Little League level, they're just as important as we are, and we express that to them every year.
Absolutely.
And you should have seen their eyes when we told them they was going to run the beer this year. They looked at me like I was crazy. They're like, "How are we going to score?" I said, "I don't care. I don't care. If they can run the beer offense, and by the end of the year, our D1, our small team, they're running the option out of the beer. You know,
man.
And they win the D1 Super Bowl, and you know that stuff. You know it doesn't. I can't stand when parents and I've got great parents here, but they're like, oh, this team won the D1 Super Bowl back in 2015. They're going to be a good group. Well, they still got to work.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
There's so much that can change between here and there.
Yeah, but they bought into our offense, and first 2 weeks they had a hard time scoring, but it was good to see those young kids.
Yeah.
You speaking of Coach Rose, I had people ask me about him when he went to Coburn, and I said, well, this is one thing I will tell you about Rose. I said, them kids will practice. They will weight lift. They will train. My daughter played for him in softball, and I'm telling you, they be out there in the winter time, out there hitting balls in the batting cage and pitching and just, they practice nonstop.
He's one of the most prepared coaches too. I hate playing against him because his teams are going to be prepared.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I could add just one thing, like you said, you coached against me when I was in school, at Clintwood, and like when the LPD got abolished, when we came to the Cumberland district, like I remember coming over here and there was maybe 5 kids standing on the sideline, that wasn't in the ball game when we came over here, and it was like that for all the Cumberland teams. I remember we went to Rycove and there was literally 2 kids standing on the sideline, but like to see, I hadn't been to a Rycove game until this year since, I was in high school, and to see the change that all these littler schools have made, man, it's just so impressive, like what you've done here. Like it is truly, it is something, I'm telling you.
Yeah. Well, question 2 was about how you was getting the kids out, and I think you kind of you've hit that on the head, and I agree with you. It does start in the smaller levels of everything. Gay City was always real big on that, and I know they've changed it too to where they're doing the flag football.
Yeah.
And I remember being down there at this year when they had Little League night, and I was like, my God, at the kids.
Yeah.
Because, at one time there, you couldn't play till you was 9 years old, period.
That's right.
So you had that gap there, and I think the flag football makes a huge difference in it. And
you got kids walking the hall that, that even if they've not played Little League, if you just show them a little bit of interest, and I always tell them, we've got 2 this year, and one of them's 6'3". Riley Davis, he's a senior this year, and he's starting defensive tackle now. He's 6'3", 2. He's huge.
Yeah.
Huge. I've begged him for 5 years to come play, and I've not let up on him. Finally, I got him this year. He's huge. Then we got a sophomore this year that's 6'4", probably 280. He finally came out. So I always tell him, guys, come try it. I'm going to love you no matter what. Just give me 2 or 3 weeks to try to get you here. Come try it.
Yeah.
If you don't like it, be honest with me. I'll still love you. I'll help you get a job after if you don't like it, if it's not for you. I think a lot of coaches still have that old school mentality, and I did when I first came here. If you ain't gonna put in the time, you ain't gonna be here with us. You ain't gonna buy in. You ain't gonna play. Well, yeah, that's all good, for 15 years ago when kids didn't have these cell phones in their hands or didn't have everything else in the world to do. So I think if even those kids that aren't in your Little League program, to reach them, you got to show them a little bit of attention, keep your arm around them, and, don't hound them, but let them know that there's an opportunity there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and I know you was talking about phones and stuff, and I've had to get on my boy at times. I said, son, time to get off that game system. But these games is about ruining these kids.
There's so much for them to do.
Yeah.
Yep. How many seniors do you have this year?
We've got 12.
12 seniors.
We've got 12.
I mean, considering the number of kids you're saying, that's like, was it Hurley that had like 36 players, or no, they had like, I don't know, like more than over half of them were seniors.
Oh, yeah.
I seen that this year. It's like,
I thought they had like 32 players or something, and
20
24 of them were
yeah,
seniors
20
or something like
were
that.
seniors. I did see that.
I thought I read something about that too.
That's
Well, I was talking, everybody, I was talking to Tanner and Landon, their principal down there Friday night. Thomas Walker's got a lot of seniors. Too.
Yeah.
We got a lot. Thomas Walker's got a lot. It's a big class.
yeah, man. Well, how healthy are you guys right now heading into the final week?
We are the Wounded Warriors, but
Most are right now.
Most are. That's right. That's what I keep preaching. I don't put it out there every week. The newspaper sends us that email. Any injuries you want to know. I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
No, I mean, nothing against you all. No,
Oh, absolutely.
no, I don't want to put that out there. I mean, I'll tell you guys, we're not healthy, but who is right now?
Yeah, that's right.
Whether it's single A, 2A, I mean, we're at week 10. Nobody's going to be fully healthy. Yeah. And, it's funny, I was telling Tanner the other night, I've been very fortunate for 5 years with the health, the injury bug hadn't hit us, and I've been very, very fortunate as a head coach at a small school to keep my teams healthy. And that's a credit to our, strength and conditioning program. Coach Bays does it, and he does a great job with it. But, this year it hit us. We lost. And it was against Union, and everybody says, I told you shouldn't have played Union. Well, they were non-contact injuries.
Yeah.
We lost, our starting 2 inside linebackers. One had a torn MCL, and then the other one had a torn ACL, a sprained MCL, and chipped his kneecap. So he had surgery last week. And then the next week, our first sub, our backup linebacker, broke his collarbone. So we lost 3 linebackers in 3 days there. But, it is what it is, And that's why I said these last 3 weeks I've been proud as heck of my kids because, man, I mean, we've put kids at, I mean, you know how hard it is to play linebacker. My goodness. Yeah. I mean, that's like throwing a kid a quarterback on defense. Yeah. So, we've thrown kids, new kids at defensive tackles and linebackers, and, man, they've answered the call. So I'm really proud of them, and I'll never use injury as an excuse.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Well, we got a district title on the line this week, and I think most people have seen this coming probably since about around week 2 or 3 at least in this, and it probably anticipated even since last year. I know it was the same thing, and we were talking about it earlier in the podcast back in the season about how, boys, they ain't nobody talking about Twin Springs. Yeah. They're still undefeated, and
quiet, man.
I liked it.
They're flying under the radar, and so it could be just like it was this past year, and here you are. You only lost coming to Union, which was a real good Union team, man, and y'all answered the call everywhere else, and got a big district title at hand right here with a big matchup coming up.
And, the Union game was, guys, I mean, a lot of people that don't know football, they're going to think I'm crazy, but that may have been the best game for us all year.
Absolutely.
I said that. So much out of that game, other than losing our linebackers. But, I really think, and Coach Turner's been great to me ever since I've started doing this, but, I think, and Chandler didn't play, so don't hear me wrong. I'm not getting too crazy, but I think physicality, my kids didn't back down. Yeah. They did not back down, and that's what I wanted to see going into this game. Of course, I wanted to win. We prepared like we were going to win. We went into that game thinking we were going to win. We pulled out onside kicks, and we was throwing everything at them. But my goodness, it didn't matter what you throw at them. They were going to throw that thing out there in space, and we weren't going to do nothing about it. But my goodness, what a team!
Yeah, they're so athletic, man.
But hats off to my kids for answering, the athleticism, that they have, I mean, it's unmatched. You know, look at what they did against Science Hill.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And that's what I was going to say. Like, I even said this, I think, on the podcast. I said that Science Hill to Union was the same thing Union was to y'all.
Yeah.
You know, Union needed that loss to Science Hill to really set them up and say, look, you know, don't ride your high horse, you know, get back on track and let's do this thing.
That's right.
And I thought that was the exact same thing for y'all.
And you know, you talk about Science Hill being the Union, guys. This is something that an older gentleman explained to me. He used to be on the VHSL board, and he speaks highly of us, and he'll send me stuff every now and then. And he says, Keith, you've got to understand, you all have 180 kids in your school. Other than Castlewood, Thomas Walker, Rye Cove, every other team that you guys are playing, they're doubling you all up or tripling you all in enrollment. He said, you take a Mountain 7 team and you make them play somebody triple their enrollment. They're playing a school with 1,800 kids, a Science Hill.
Yeah.
You know, he said, you guys are doing that week in and week out. And everybody gives us a hard time, you know, because of our schedule, and we've tried to beef it up. But, you know, even those teams, you know, Cumberland Gap, my goodness, you know, they're 500 kids.
Yeah.
You know, I think their coach said, or their AD was telling us this was the first year that they've dropped below 500. But still, it's 3 times what we got.
Right.
You
Yeah,
know,
so
so it's hard to prove ourselves to a lot of people. And we don't try to prove ourselves, but people don't understand the battle that we're facing every year with a football program.
Yeah. Well, speaking of the district championship game and stuff coming up, it's a rival game. It's been that way probably since the 2 schools has been in existence, and lot of good football games. I've always remembered. Well, like even when, you know, Gate City was always off on week 10, so we'd always go to this game and couldn't wait for this game to come up. And and now it's gotten back even bigger and everything. And but what does this mean to the communities for Ryco and you guys? You know, both of you being such small communities and stuff. I mean, you know, for this rivalry.
You know, my goodness, our community, they're amazing. They've been behind me since day one. And I don't think a lot of coaches in our area would get on air and brag about their community support. We got a couple, they probably won't be gone, but that's all right. But no, our community, man, it's special. It doesn't matter what it is. They're going to support us.
Yeah.
And now you see Ryco's community taking off. You know, if you look at, you know, that community's hungry. You know, from where they've come from. You know, I don't even know. I've not even looked. You know, the past 15 years. You know, they are hungry.
Yeah,
you know, they're hungry for something. And you know, I coached with Gary. You know, every year at Gate City. You know, so I know what kind of coach he is. I know what kind of program he's bringing to the table. But he's doing a good job getting his community involved as well. And man, he's a smart football coach, and you know, for their community is excited. And I don't know if you guys were there last year, but I hate going back and saying when I played this. I don't like those stories, but I thought we had big crowds at Ryco Twin Springs games. Last year was incredible. Mm-hmm. What an atmosphere.
It's
going
to
be
be bigger this year, I'm afraid.
And I hope so.
Yeah, I really feel like it'll be bigger.
But that's what you want your kids. You know, that's what you want your communities and your kids to see with high school football. And of course, everybody wants to win this game. But at the end of the day, there's kids that play this game that never play in a meaningful game like they're getting ready to play in Friday night. Right. So for them to get that, this may be the only time in their life that they truly get that feel of that, you know, that huge atmosphere. So, you know, it's special. It is. I know I always say that, but that's the word I use. And I hope our kids, you know, the past 5 years they played some big ball games, but what's the old saying? There's no bigger one than the next one.
That's right.
So I hope our kids are, you know, prepared. I hope they're seasoned a little bit. But hats off to Rye Cove. They're rolling right now, and they're solid. So it's going to be a tough task, but our kids are up for the challenge.
Yeah, absolutely. I know win or lose in this game, your playoff spot's already locked in, of course. But I think this one has to have some type of seeding. Maybe you guys will move to number 2 at least, maybe.
Yeah.
So it looks like 2 and 3's going to be up for grabs in this game right here. Is getting that number 2 seed versus the number 3 seed, is that pretty big as well for you?
It is, because that means you won the ball game. But I'll be honest with you, I've had this conversation numerous times. Actually, Gary and I just had it yesterday when we were talking. Homeacre's good, guys. Homeacre's good. But it doesn't matter if you got the 2 seed this year or the 3 seed. Those first round games are going to be brutal.
Yep.
They're going to be absolute dog fights.
Me and Kermit has talked about this too, because we've been looking through these points, and you got Region 2D, and you're looking at it, and then you're like, well, you got a probably an easy game here. But then you flip over and you look down there and you see that 1D, and your number 8 team coming in right now is Eastside.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I told Kermit, I'm like, do you not agree that there's probably not one of these teams
Who wants to see Eastside
again? Because honestly,
Which we've talked about, and I think Eastside has played a tough schedule.
Yes, they have.
And it's kind of bit them a little bit, and they're a really good ball club. They just ain't found a way to finish it yet.
They're young, guys. They're young.
yeah, they're real young, and you look at it top to bottom. This 1D right here. It's tough all the way to the top, but I think if you get through 1D, that's going to help you so much better once you start seeing the C team come in, for that. I guess it'd be semis at that point.
Yes.
But Region C's got some good teams.
They got some good teams.
And they're big schools.
And they're big.
They're big. Like you was talking about being 3 times your size.
Yeah.
That's what you're going to see at that point.
I don't know. Northwood may be the only seed team that's going to make playoffs under 400 kids.
I guarantee it.
So
Georgia West going to be there.
yeah, Grayson County.
Yeah, Grayson.
So
And we was talking about George Witt, and Union went up and played them preseason, and we put points up on them, but man, they played us good. They come down to our house a year ago, and they was popping us. They was lighting Union. I thought they out hit Union down there, and man, that George Witt team, they've got 3 losses, but the 3 losses they have is Graham, Radford, and Galax. That's 3 double-A schools at the top of that level.
yes.
So they
usually compete in them. They laid it on Gay City.
Yeah.
They sure did. Well, I was going to say, is there any certain team that you dreaded seeing? But we know that any of them, like he done said, that any of them's going to be that.
Yeah, it'll be a dogfight. And the only thing you can hope for is, in this game Friday night, if you win, get the 2 seed, at least you got them at home.
Yeah.
And a possibility for sure for 2.
That's right, for sure for 2. So, we've been the 2 seed the past, 3 years or whatever. So we've been fortunate, but, they've been dogfights. I hated we drew Lebanon last year. That's a tough draw. They played a tough schedule, and they got that 7 seed and come in, and it was, good gosh, nobody could stop anybody.
Yeah. What is the thing with Lebanon? They're up and down. They're 1 year they're in single A, next year they're in double A.
Yeah, their enrollment, that 474 cutoff. So, they're bouncing back and forth. So they're taking the enrollment. I think it's for 3 years that they have to keep a certain number. So, they're bouncing back and forth. But the crazy thing is people talking about Graham on the cut line. I don't know if you guys have heard that. But
Dang.
I know that Graham's enrollment has been pretty down for a while.
Yeah. So
you dread seeing that happen.
Well, yeah.
Especially if you're down in a year like that.
Yeah.
So,
it's crazy. So, But we'll roll with it. But yeah, it's gonna be exciting.
I mean, I would like to see it happen. And the 2A thing.
Yeah.
I definitely, like I've told Aaron, I am so much more excited and pumped for the single A Division I playoffs because it's like you're saying. I think a 1C can get beat by an 8.
Well, I'll tell you what, Kermit. Once Gate City upsets them Union Bears in the playoffs, and your boy ain't having to play no more, then we'll just finish the year out in that one. You know what I'm saying, bro?
Yeah, man.
Finishing out in one day.
Yeah, because I don't care. I mean, I ain't got nobody playing for Gate City no more, so I'm.
Yeah, those are still my guys. I'm gonna see them make a run too.
Yeah, I do too. I'd like to see it happen. Well, Coach Warner, buddy, we sure do want to say congratulations on the season that you've had and everything. And we're going to run through this Week 10 high school scores, and then we're going to get into predictions and let you kill a couple of these guys around here in a minute. But in this first one, he had Gate City 43, Y 6. It was, pretty much cut and dry what went on here.
Yep.
I think Wise expected Gate City ran the ball for like almost 400 yards the week before, and then come out and didn't hardly run the ball hardly at all in this one, and passed for 400. So
Now it was more of a Texas brawl than it was a football game, wasn't it?
Well, we don't. I don't want to get into that, man. I'm much like my old cousin Isaiah Spivey. It's just sometimes I better keep my mouth shut. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I did think that, Wise has had a tough year this year. I mean, they're obviously not very good, but I thought that, Gate City needed a game like that. Like, we said, like when they played Union, I thought, their defense was really fighting against Union, but their offense, I mean, they were just stale. They couldn't do anything. And I think this is a good time for Gate City to have a game like this, where their offense get out there and put up points and, and they could see their team making stuff happen. I think
they had a lot of their players back, too.
Right, I think it was a good time for them.
Which I'm thinking that Matt Murray comes back and is going to be right back out again.
Yeah, Eli's huge for him.
Yeah, he is. His speed, man, and being without him for a few weeks is just been really tough. And I think
they got Hickman back.
It's his knee now, ain't it? Eli hurt his knee again Friday.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, he had a guy on his back, and they came through and hit his leg So I think it's going to be actually Monday before they found out. Any extent of it, but I mean, just get him back, and it looks like he may be out again. Let's hope and pray that it's not, and he is. Yeah, and then Hickman, they did get him back. He's, of course, he didn't play the first 3 or 4 series, but he did end up finding some. Very first play came in, son, shot the gap, man, just throw at a kid. It's like, well, he's back.
He's tough, guys.
Yeah. But it's good to see some of them back. Corey Bird should be back next week. So they're getting some players back. I like to see them get it back for these playoffs because, I mean, Kansas City, even this week, it's going to be pretty good that they're getting a lot of them back. Yeah. It makes a pretty good difference. Rocco, 46. John I. Burton, 0.
I think Aaron was going somewhere with this one last week, so we'll let you finish it off.
Well, I was trying to, and y'all wouldn't let me. I mean, I was going to build this up like I was going to take Burton and then give you Rocco. I mean, I don't know who would have took Burton last week. I mean, I hate it for them guys. They have had a rough year over there.
Yeah.
Their quarterback didn't play.
Yeah.
Norton's quarterback didn't play. He's their athlete.
Yeah, he's the only one they got, really, ain't it? Because the rest of them are, like, way younger. I thought he was even young. He looked young, but he was like a junior or a senior, ain't he?
I thought he was a sophomore.
He's a younger guy.
Yeah.
I think he's a sophomore. If it's the one that come from Union,
yeah,
man, Kid can absolutely kick a ball.
He said this all the time.
Aaron said, well, maybe they ought to just kick the ball. I said, well, they can't kick it 70 yards. Come on. But he does. He got a leg on him.
Union 37, Abingdon 20. I went back and watched this game right here 2 or 3 times, to be honest with you.
Could have been worse.
It could have been worse. It could have been closer. It could have been. I tell you right now, I think three things was the difference. At the end of the first half, Union scoring there and getting that 2-point conversion, 7-9, it makes a huge difference. I mean, kids start thinking different at that point. I think that's one thing. And then in the second half, Union's third down conversion percentage was absolutely amazing in that game. I'm talking third and long, and they're converting. And I really feel like that was the difference in this game. Because if they don't convert those, I mean, that's more chances Abilene gets. And the more chances they got, I think that they could have ended up maybe getting it closer, maybe painted over. But I think them two things was probably the biggest things in this game that made the difference.
You know, I think me and Kermit were actually talking about this on the way over to get you, but I thought that the Anderson kid, the quarterback, I thought this was, one of his better games throwing the football.
Across the middle, he was spot on.
A lot of times he looks like just a runner, like he looks like he wants to run first. But I hope this kid realizes, you got Paul Huff out there, and this kid is, he's a special player, and then you got the Bunch kid and the
Cam made
Bostic,
two big catches for him.
And that one move, Cam done that one move again on that guy.
Yeah,
but he couldn't tackle that guy in a phone booth on that one.
We tried.
But
Cam's little but sneaky.
Yeah, he is, man. His juke move is awesome.
I think if they could really come on, and if that kid, if he'll stand in that pocket and have some pocket presence and step up and deliver that football, that would bring, a whole new dimension to Union's game, and then I'm not a coach, I don't get paid to be a coach, but if I had a 5'8", 230-pound running back and I was on the 4-yard line, I'd be handing him the ball and everybody in the stadium would know where he was going. And that's like I say, I'm not bashing that coach. I'm not saying nothing about that coach. I just think, when you're in third and short, fourth and short, on the goal line, if I was the coach, there wouldn't be a person in the stadium that didn't know where I was going with football. I would let Keith Chandler tote the rock. I think that he is going to be a monster for him to only be a sophomore.
I'll just be honest with you. You line up inside the 5-yard line on first and goal, too.
Yeah.
If that guy can't get it in 4 goes,
yeah.
Hats off to him, boys. You all deserve it. Because I'm coming at you with him.
Well, I know it's a couple of weeks ago, I kind of give Rayshawn a hard time about throwing the ball away when he threw an interception up 2 touchdowns against Ridgeview and realizing where you're at in the game and just punting the ball away. Well, he turned around against Wise the next week, throw the ball away, and I got to give a kid credit when he does good if I'm going to bash him, but man, he throwed a dart to Paul Huff between 2 defenders in that Wise game, and you couldn't have placed it no better. And in this game right here, big third down conversions. I'm talking long third down conversions, and he stepped up and he pulled the trigger on it.
Across the middle was absolutely beautiful passes.
Absolutely.
And he had a couple long balls that was just barely. I mean, those were scores too. It was just barely. Which one of them? Paul Huff made one heck of a catch on, man. Laid out, got that ball.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure they scored at the end of the half, though. I'm just saying.
What I've learned coaching, though, is, you want those guys to make those right plays. But at the end of the day, those athletes, they got to be athletes, and they got to try to make those plays. And I'm with you. I want my guy to just make the right play. But then 2 plays later, he does something crazy and completes it, and you're like, all right, I'm gonna sit over here and shut up.
Yeah,
let him be an athlete.
Yeah.
And Rayshawn broke a few runs that he should have been tackled in, and he turned reverse around the field, made some big first downs with his legs too.
Yeah,
he had a heck of a game.
Definitely a dual threat player. Ain't no doubt about that.
Yeah, he's special, guys.
Castlewood 20, Hurley 60. Did anybody pick Castlewood in this one? I can't remember.
I don't remember. I hope I didn't.
I don't think after Norton.
Hurley's actually gotten better, I think, too. Since,
no doubt.
Especially since I've not really watched them outside I went back and watched the Eastside Hurley game just because of the podcast and stuff. But they've gotten a lot better.
I think you could tell in the Thomas Walker game that it was like, boy, they're doing good. And
what was that score? They put more on than you guys did, didn't they?
no, I don't.
Thanks for reminding me.
It was like 80-some points.
Was it? I thought it was 50-some to something. Well,
I can't remember now, but well, let's go ahead and get into this next one here for the Twin Springs Titans. Puts up is that a school record?
It was.
They went for the school record on this and beat Thomas Walker 73
We
to 29.
did not go for the school record.
Oh man, this I know I sent him a message yesterday to set up the podcast. I was like, hey, did you save any points for the Rocco game? Or did you use them all? He's like, man, I hated to do that.
Yeah, I tell you guys, I've been, my first year, we had 14 kids. And week 2, 3, 4, and 5, we played 4 of the top 5 teams in single A. We started off with, we had Holston, Patrick Henry, Norton, and Chilhowie, back to back to back to back. And, I've been on the other side of it. And my goodness, we couldn't stop them. I put those 2 kids at linebacker, and they're fast. You see it on film, but they're fast.
Yeah.
So I told Tanner, and I ain't making excuses because I'd never try to score 70 on somebody. But, we got up 33, and they wouldn't run the clock. And then we finally scored, and I'll be daggone. First play that, we kind of sub on, they score. And they wouldn't run the clock. So me and Tanner were talking, and Tanner, he was telling me how it happened. The ref come over there and said, he don't want to run the clock. I said, what? I said, let's get out of here. But at the end of the day, it was a miscommunication, and they wouldn't run the clock. They didn't run the clock till the 4th quarter.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I was like...
Even with the total points.
So when we got 35 in the 4th, they finally started running it there. And then we couldn't stop them. They scored, so we'd have to score again. Keep it 35, because they would not run it at 33. But, Tanner, they asked him, and Tanner said yes.
Yeah.
After it was all, Tanner did. He did say yes, but I think he kind of told them in a roundabout way where they thought he didn't want it. So that was miscommunication. I apologize to Tanner for that, because you never want to do that.
Yeah.
You never want to do that to kids. But, my goodness, the score does not indicate that game, guys. They come out and hit us in the mouth. And they were much more ready to play than we were. And that's on me. So, but I got a lot of respect for Tanner, and I just, that score looks awful.
Yeah.
Man, I thought they was going to be the east side the week before there. They come out and was putting it on the east side.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, they you never know about them. I mean, they'll come out, they'll hit you in the mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not scared.
They're not.
They're not
Scrappy
scared.
bunch.
They're not. Tanner does a good job with them.
John Battle, Lehigh, 42-34. Thank goodness I live real close to the Gate City Stadium, and I got to the house, and I'm like, all right, let's get these things going. So I get on, and I got to the end of this game, and I thought, we're going to see another Gate City Wild Central deal here. The referees made a bad call or something other, and I did see on the NFHS replay, a lady actually comes out of the stands when the game's over. Lehigh's coach, the players actually grabbed him. I mean, he was hot. This lady comes out and she gets up in that referee's face, and they grab her and they pull her over. Well, she's walking off the field, and that referee walks down through her, and I swear to God, he turns around and throws something at her. You can see it on the NFHS. So y'all need to go watch it. I don't know what it was he throwed at her, but he chucked this thing at her. So it was crazy. But congratulations, John Battle, man.
What a year.
What a year they've had, man. They
What a
start out
year.
on fire, and then it's just been up and down.
And
They're a really good ball team. They really are.
I would like to say this too. I seen on Facebook that the Lehigh's quarterback, what's that kid's name?
Pendergrass.
Yeah, he broke the 1,000-yard. He's passed for over 1,000 yards this year. So congratulations to that kid.
Yeah.
Big milestone to hit.
Yep, man. Eastside 40, Auburn 0. That one right there, I didn't know nothing about Auburn coming into it. I guess they're like somewhere up around Roanoke, ain't they?
Yeah, how do you dominate in every other sport in
Yeah.
single A? Man,
Yeah.
can't field a football team. That was mine.
Don't
Yeah,
make no
it is,
sense.
so they're dominant in everything else.
Yeah, they beat us 2 years ago in the state semifinals in basketball.
So they got athletes.
Yeah, they win it in baseball. They win it in soccer. They win it in track. I mean, they're just dominant. Girls volleyball, they're good. Softball. I mean, they're just
Some schools just don't like football, and I don't get it.
I didn't honestly see this game going the way it did, just because Eastside's got to keep it within 3 or 4 points, or every game they played this year. And but I didn't
It was
see
kind of a shocker, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
I was like, man, that ain't like Eastside, but
Well,
Eastside.
they put their fans through enough.
Yeah.
So it's like,
They
all right,
had to get
guys,
yeah.
we got the playoffs. We'll give you a break this week right here. All right, week 11 picks, guys. Up first, we got Eastside at Castlewood.
Well, the way Eastside played last week, I'm gonna take Eastside big in this one too. Castlewood, I mean, they've struggled all year, and Eastside, like y'all said, they just keep getting better and better and better. And even like Coach said, that ain't a team you want to see here in a couple of weeks. With the way that they are getting better, so I'm gonna take Eastside big in this one.
Man, that running back they've got, I like that running back.
Freshman.
Hamilton.
Oh, man.
Fresh.
He is tough, and he plays tough defensively, too. I mean,
Yeah.
you'll see him on a lot of tackles. That kid's going to be one heck of an
He
athlete.
plays like a junior or senior.
He's a special
Absolutely.
guys.
Yeah, it's kind of like number 2 from Virginia High. I thought he was a senior out there the way he was hitting people. And
Yeah, freshman.
It's like, this kid's a freshman. It's like, what? He looked like the team leader.
Yeah.
But yeah, I take Eastside in this, and then maybe it'll clinch him a spot.
Yeah, I'll take Eastside.
Thomas Walker, John Iberton. I got Thomas Walker in this one.
Yeah, I got Thomas Walker too.
You know me, I got Thomas Walker.
Hey, y'all gonna make me pick between 2 of my better friends coaching? I do think if Burton had their quarterback, I think they could maybe surprise them, but I'll take Thomas Walker.
John Battle and Union. Sean, you go ahead.
I got Union by a bunch. I mean, a bunch. I know Battles. They've came out and they've shocked a couple people this year, but Union ain't the one that they're going to do it to. Like I've said all year, I said it week 4, week 5. I said I don't see Union losing another game, about all the way out. I mean, and I meant every word I said of it, and I think Union will put it on them.
Kermit,
Come on, Kermit.
we know what you're doing. You're going with your boy.
I think we got 2 really great games on here this week, and I don't think this is one of them. I'm going Union big.
I'll never pick against Union the rest of the year.
Well, I did hear that John Battle's up there at that pond trying to dig that rock out. You talked about him rolling it in, making that big splash. They're trying to get it out, see if they can get another splash out of it, but
They're still splashing out here on this field. I think they just scored again.
so I don't think they're going to be able to get it out there, and I'm going to go the Union Bears in this one. And I'm going to say this, number 62 is going to have a big game. All right, Wise Grundy. This is a good match.
you know what? Union. The Keith kid. He's a Twin Springs boy, right?
Is that right?
Yeah, his dad played here.
Boys.
Daggone him.
I bet you'd
I
love
mean,
to have him.
Yeah.
How you get him back, man?
His mom's from Big Stone.
Well, the mom always
Yeah,
wins.
Mom wins,
Yeah, we got a couple of them. Yeah, Walker Hillman.
Yeah.
Well,
Gate City.
I think
he lives right out here in town.
Yeah,
I think Keith Chandler, I really honestly believe he's played for every little league around. I think he's played at least some years at Big Stone Little League.
Oh
some
no, I'm
years.
talking about what's Keith's last name?
Isaac
Keith. Yeah,
Isaac Keith,
Linebacker.
yeah, the
He's
linebacker.
best linebacker. He's
Yeah,
good.
he's a good player. He
Yeah.
sure is.
Yeah, I'd like to have some of them Twin Springs boys.
Hey, you know what they say though? Happy wife, happy life.
That's right.
Wise Grundy. I think this would be good. Could be a good matchup.
This could be a good game. You know what? I'm gonna go with the Grundy Golden Leaf. I'm gonna pick them.
Oh, I didn't think you thought he would.
I think Wise is losing probably one of their better players for the rest of the season now.
He's gone.
He's gone. I believe I'll take Grundy too.
Who was lose?
Number 12, he got ejected.
Oh yeah. I've seen Grundy twice, guys. I'll take Grundy.
Yeah, I'm taking Grundy in this one. Because honestly, I think that number 12 was their best offensive weapon.
Yeah, and
he runs the ball hard.
I know Grundy got a bad start, but I think they've showed some improvement. If they can at least score a time or two on Wise, I believe they got this one.
Yep.
People are nuts. They thought the East Side loss was a bad loss. Or not Grundy, that's Hurley, my bad. Never mind.
Which one was that, though?
Hurley, when East Side beat Hurley.
Yeah.
Everybody was saying that was a bad loss. I said, guys, that ain't a bad loss. The East Side's better than what y'all think.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, Eastside could have won that game a whole lot worse than what they did.
Yes.
They shot themselves in the foot numerous times in the red zone and would get daggone pre-snap penalties that killed them.
Yeah.
I think Hurley's new coach is really bringing them along. That's why they've much improved team.
Yeah. Abington Lee.
I got the Falcons in this one. I think that run game will be too much for them.
I like Coach Ambergy. I like him, but I care less about the refs up there and the clock keepers. And I mean, I could go on and on and on, but we got Coach here, and I ain't gonna do that. Maybe I'll do it next week, but I do like Coach Ambergy because he keeps things simplified. He knows what he's got. He knows, first 2 games of the year, he probably trying something different. And then after that, he said, hey, this is what I got. Let's line up. This is how we're going to have to play. And they've won a lot of ball games by recognizing what he's got and how he has to play ball against people. And I think Abington's got this in big.
Yeah, I'm going to go with my buddy, Brent Tipton. He coaches up there. I'll go with Abington.
Awesome. I'm going to go with the Abington Falcons, too. Gay City Ridgeview, our top 2 games. This is our top Mountain 7 district game this week. This game has, it's more for playoff, I believe, ranking than anything, but go ahead, Sean.
Okay. Well, is the Honeacre kid back? Do we know?
I'm not sure.
I don't know. I know he was bad off last week. I think if that kid is back, shoot, Lord. I don't know what.
If he's back 100%.
If he's back 100%.
I think he's played the last 2 games, but he ain't been able to do nothing.
It don't matter.
John Battle, he couldn't even hardly walk out there. I was like, why they put this kid out there?
The way that I see that kid is that, I've said all year he's a headhunter and he's the heart of their defense, and I truly believe that. And I think that if that kid's back, it makes a huge difference on the defensive side of the ball. And I know he plays offense too, receiver and running back and stuff, but his presence on defense is such a big deal to Ridgeview. That kid, you can just tell he loves playing football and he loves coming up and cracking people and shooting the run. And I love watching that kid play ball. But I think that Ridgeview pass game will be too much for Gate City this week. I sure do. And
4 interceptions this week.
I know, but I think they'll turn it around this week, and I got the Ridgeview Wolfpack
Next.
the hometown team.
You made him go. You go.
No, you go.
Big Blue Devil.
I'll say it for you first. I'm going with the Blue Devils.
There we go. Go, Kermit.
Oh man. I agree 100%, and I've said it time after time. I think Honeacre's Ridgeview's toughness without them. They're just a softball club. I think without Honeacre, to me, he's more than what the quarterback is to him. I think he brings fire on both sides of the ball, and this gonna be one of them tough ones, and I just don't know if Ridgew's got over the Union loss, and I think that's what happened to them with Abilene. They didn't even come out trying to play. They didn't look too impressive against John Battle. Like they was.
I was going to say they didn't try. Okay, let's go, Kermit. Just spit it out.
But I believe Honaker's had enough time to get ready. I'm gonna take Ridgeview in this one.
I knew you was because your wife told me that you couldn't pick Gay City no more. I was going to be honest with you, boys.
I think if they're healthy, guys, I'm telling you. I think if Gate City gets those guys back.
I know Gay City. I've been through the program, and I know what that household name means. And when it comes to defense and scheming, you can't beat it. And I don't care who's back on that offense. They can actually scheme on defense, and I love it. But, if they believe they can win, they can win. And I'm going to start to believing for them, and I'm going to Gate City Blue Devils.
Woo! I tell you, I'm just gonna say I love sitting on this side of it and watching you two, because it's a whole lot better on this side right
It was.
here.
I had fun when you guys played, so it's awesome. Rocco, Twin Springs is a big one, boys. This one right here is going to have everybody in Southwest Virginia at it. I doubt there'll be many people at any of the other games this week. They're all going to be right here in the big Nicholsville.
I just like to say that, man, congratulations to both teams. I said it last week. I said Twin Springs going to go down there and they're going to beat Thomas Walker, and they're going to give us what we wanted to see, 2 8-1 teams going at each other. I'm impressed by both ball clubs, and man, one week you'll be going, man, did you see what Rocco done to Chahowie? Or next week you're saying, man, Twin Springs just put up 70-something on Thomas Walker. And just every week it's like you're teeter-totting back and forth, and I know this game make you toss and turn at night, so Coach, I just can't imagine what you all's going through as coaches, and the importance of it. I don't think Rocco has beat Twin Springs in the last 4 years, which one of them years was a COVID year, and I still don't think they're going to do it. I'm going Twin Springs.
Am I up next?
Give it up.
All right. Here's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say I've watched Rocco play one game against Honaker this year, and I think Honaker is, they're the number one in all of this. I mean, they're the toughest team I've seen in 1A this year. Not taking nothing away from y'all or
I was
Rocco.
there too. That's a great ball game.
And
That was a great
something
high
else that
school
you said that
football.
I forgot to add to was, I went to that Rocco game, and like I said, I've not, I graduated in 2015. Last year we played Rocco, was in 14. Man, like, I went over there my senior year, and there was like 12 people in the stands, and I'm pretty sure all of them had a kid on the field, what I mean? We just went over there, and we just absolutely beat them to death, I mean, all the Cumberland teams, when Clintwood came in, I mean, it was like a different world to us, but man, I went over there this year and I seen what, it's turned into. And I've not got to come out and watch y'all play, but I'm sure it's the same way right here. This is the biggest game of the year, I think, so far.
It's going to be fire,
huge.
man.
I mean, this is huge. If I
This
get
will
off
be
work
fire.
on time in Friday, this right here is where I'll be.
I'll tell you right now, I'm going to have anal cataracts Friday. Yes, sir, son. I'm going to do the ball game this week. And Eric Todd's going to hear this on Thursday, and he's going to be like, I listen to your podcast. You better not be calling in on me tomorrow. I'm telling you right now, Eric Todd, I've got anal cataracts, son. I can't see my tail being there Friday.
I think, we've talked a lot about it. I think you guys, y'all play some people, and you make it look, I don't know how to describe it. You make it look easier than Rocco does to move the ball sometimes on people. But Rocco just has this pound and run game, man. Like when I went and watched them against Honaker, and Honaker's just beating people to death, But you go over there to that Rocco game, man, and I mean, Rykov is just pounding the ball. No matter what's happening, they're not getting away from it. They're pounding the ball. I think this is going to be an awesome game. No offense to you, Coach. I'm going Rykov.
No.
I'm going to Rykov Eagles.
What kind of horn do y'all have down there, Coach?
Listen, this guy has spent about $9,000 on this horn.
I know when we come up here with Union, and I was actually hoping the little guy would catch that touchdown pass. It bounced off him about 4 times, bounced off a Union guy, and I think bounced off him one more time. And he reminds me of the kid off the Little Giants. I love him to death.
He's tough.
I was praying that he'd catch it because I wanted to hear it horn one more time. I thought that was awesome. And if there'd been another horn go off at the same time, I'd been looking for Jesus coming back because it's definitely loud. But I'll tell you this, I know Coburn fans don't like it.
They don't like the one at Gate City either. I built those down there, and that Coburn guy came up behind me, hit me upside the head with a big old can one time.
Me like an idiot. I usually go sit right in front of the Jeep at Gate City game and forget all about that horn until it goes off.
I'd scare you, wouldn't I? Well, who you got, Kermit? You done it.
I ain't told you.
Well, we know we're going to leave Coach out of this one here. I mean, you know, but
it's all on you, big dog. Do we need to flip a coin?
I mean, honest to God, I really don't know. Honestly, I don't know which way to go because, like you said,
It's so hard.
I've looked and I've looked and I've looked. I mean, sometimes I feel like Rocco may be just a little stronger defensively, or you know.
Every week it's just like you just teeter
Twin
off,
Springs had a better
teeter
D coordinator. I don't know who that guy is.
Well, I mean, honestly, I mean, you know, I mean, then I look at it. I think Twin Springs has the better passing game, and this is why that I'm going to go with Twin Springs is because I have a lot of the things that can throw the ball have moved the ball very easily on Rykov. I mean, Chilhowie they just about done anything they wanted to throwing the ball against them. Now they bent, they didn't break, but because they get into situations where you know it takes some of the passing game away. But I'm going to go Twin Springs in this game too.
Yeah, man.
Well, Coach, we sure do appreciate
Yes,
you
sir.
taking the time and having us to come and letting you let us do this podcast with you. We wish you the best of luck Friday night.
Guys,
You got anything else for us? Anything else you want to say?
I'm excited, guys. Y'all do a great job for Southwest
appreciate
Virginia, man. And I'm glad they put me on your all's podcast, but I enjoy it. You know, these kids don't get a lot of attention around here.
Yeah.
You know, we're overshadowed, you know, by the Mountain 7 and the bigger schools. So for you all to show us love, that's awesome, guys, and y'all do a great job.
Yeah, we actually tried to get Gary on earlier in the year, and then we had a schedule conflict, and it didn't happen. And we do want to try to get Gary on, and you know we're wanting to get some of the others on too. But you know we're glad this one got to work out and get you on and everything. And we knew it was going to be big going into this game. You know that we could like maybe hype it up, give the fans something a little early to look forward to as well. Because we know it's going to be fire. Is there anything you want to say to the fans, you know, about this Friday?
You know, just enjoy it. Don't take this for granted. Same thing I tell my kids. You know, that the same thing goes for adults. You know, I think they get carried away and wanting, you know, to scream and shout at refs and all this nonsense during the game. You know, but at the end of the day, both sides, you know, really it's two communities. But my goodness, you know, what an opportunity for both teams, and they need to embrace it, you know, and they need to embrace it as a positive, you know, for both schools.
Absolutely.
I mean, you could say the same about Twin Springs and Rykov. Like, look where we've came from, guys. You know, so it's special. You know, it's a rivalry. It's the same county. You know, I just hope there's no negativity that comes out of it.
I don't think there will be. But.
I hope they enjoy it. And I hope our kids enjoy it. And I know we enjoy it.
Just live in the moment.
Just live in the moment. You may never get anything like this again.
Yeah, man.
We're going to try to come and be a part of it. At least some of us. I know Kermit's boy, he plays for Union. and it'll be senior night. He's a senior this year, and that's where Kermit will definitely be. But the rest of us, we're gonna try to come. I know I am for sure. We're gonna try to get here and everything, because I know this is gonna be fire, man. I can't wait. This place is gonna be rocking and rolling come Friday and everything. But if all hearts and minds clear, anybody got anything? All right, guys, we'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.